All right, so today you're going to learn a little bit about absolute value graphs and just kind of how they can move around the graph. It's called translations, which you should be somewhat familiar with. But first, we're just going to look at a basic absolute value graph. So, what you're going to be using for graphing today instead of a calculator is you're just going to come to desmos.com. And then once you get to the main site, if the calculator or if the graph isn't already up, you just click right here on Graphing Calculator. And then I want to start by showing you just like how absolute value works. So this y equals x is the basic equation and like graph of a line. So whenever you take absolute value of something, you take whatever is negative. So if you look right here, everywhere below the x-axis, like we were learning last week, this piece of the graph here is considered negative. So whenever I do a separate equation and I type y equals the absolute value of x, it takes that piece that's below the x-axis and it flips it back up and it creates this V-shaped graph. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of my linear graph here, and I would just have y equals the absolute value of x. And so the way that I typed it over here with the ABS, that's one way that you can do it in Desmos, but whenever you see it written out, it's going to kind of have these two little bars on the side. So another way that you can type it, that's the same equation, is if you click this little math keypad down here, you'll see the bars with the A inside. That's just the absolute value, and it gives you the same graph here. So if you want to use the actual absolute value bars, then just use the keypad at the bottom of the screen, or you can type ABS to get the absolute value function on Desmos. Okay, so if you look at your assignment for today, then what you're going to be looking at is how adding numbers in the absolute value equation is going to shift the graph around. So it gives you all of these instructions down here, and I added this example in here. So basically, if I come back over to my graph, right now I just have the parent function y equals the absolute value of x graphed. And I'm going to add another function in here, and I'm going to have y equals the absolute value of x, and I'm just going to add some other numbers in here. So I'm going to do a -1, close my absolute value, and then do like +4. So basically what you're going to be looking at is how adding the 1 and the 4 changed the graph. So you can kind of see already this second graph up here of absolute value, it's labeled by color, so you can see like the purple graph right here. It's shifted to the right and up from the original parent function. The thing that I like about Desmos is you can actually click in here. So this 0, 0, where the vertex is at the origin, that's from our parent function, y equals the absolute value of x. And then if you're not sure how to tell what that point is right there, then you can click on the point and it'll tell you that's the 0.14. And so you can tell exactly where that absolute value graph shifted. So that's how I want you guys to work on this assignment. And then after you've graphed a few of them and have an idea of like how the numbers are affecting where the graph moves, I want you to try to answer these questions 7 through 11 down here at the bottom. And then that is going to kind of be like used as your notes for absolute value. So try to do a good job on this, and then if you have any questions about it, we can go over it in class as well. So good luck on your absolute value graphing.